What is up, YouTube? It is your boy Weeb here, and I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing day today so far. Now, for today's video, I have something a little bit different than usual for you guys. Today, I'm going to be doing a Warzone 2.0 settings video to kind of show you guys what I play on and what has helped me the most. Because just like me, I'm sure you guys have been scouring the internet for anything possible to make this game just a little bit better. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it, and hopefully you guys learn a little something today that you haven't seen already. Let's see. All right, so for graphic settings, this stuff should be pretty standard by the book, mostly the same as previous Warzone. You can play on full screen exclusive, and supposedly you'll get, like, just a minor frame difference, but I personally prefer borderless because I hate the little screen flash that I get when I'm trying to tab out of the game, being that I stream from a single stream or single PC setup. Now, I do have HDR on, but that is because I stream to YouTube, and so I'm able to actually stream all my videos in HDR instead of having to worry about changing that quality later on through filters and so on and so forth. Now, for my upscaling and sharpening, I use Fidelity CAS. That is my personal preference. You can also use AMD FSR1 or NVIDIA image scaling, but me personally, I think that Fidelity FX CAS gives you the best, crispest, sharpest image. Crank that shit all the way up to 100. You're going to love it. With the Fidelity CAS, you're going to want to run Filmic SMA T2X. You can slap that bad boy on high. Trust me, the game will look absolutely amazing, and you won't suffer that much of an FPS loss. For your video memory scale, now I know in Warzone 1, we lowered this to help improve things. Well, on Warzone 2, you're going to want to max this bad boy out. Throw it all the way up because you're going to want to have your video RAM up as high as possible, because if you don't, you're going to end up with some weird crashes and all kinds of other stuff. I don't understand why. I don't know the full mechanics behind that. I'm not a super tech guy. All I know is that if you try to lower that scale to make maximize your GPU's power, you end up with crashes, because Warzone 2 is Warzone 2, and we all know how it's going so far. So for the best FPS, I run texture resolution on normal, and the anisotropic on normal. Nearby level of detail and distant level of detail, I have those on low. Clutter draw distance, as you can see, there's nothing there. I'll show you why later. Particle quality is also on low. Particle quality level, I keep on normal. Bullet impacts and sprays and persistent damage layers, I have off. That way I'm not just slapping, multiple layers of stuff on the game. It helps my FPS just a little bit. Now, if you prefer impacts and sprays on, you can keep that on. But I do recommend at least having persistent damage layers off. Shader quality on medium, tessellation off. Terrain memory, as you can see, is also non-existent. I will show you a little bit later why. On-demand texture streaming, turn that off. This is responsible for a lot of the crashes we get on PC for Warzone 2. You do not want to keep that on. I promise you, turn it off. It is not worth it. Streaming quality, do normal. Volumetric quality, medium. Deferred physics quality, set on low. You don't need the water to be, super realistic. It's fine. Water caustics, keep that on. Shadow map resolution, low. Screen space shadows, low. Spot cache quality, spot shadow quality, medium. Spot cache you can actually put on ultra, and it won't hurt your FPS too bad, but it will make the light spot shadows look a lot better and help you actually see people hiding in those shadows. Particle lighting, normal. Ambient occlusion, you want off. Screen space reflections, off. Static reflection quality, low. Weather grid volumes, off. And personally, I keep NVIDIA low latency on plus boost. You definitely want that on if you have older GPUs, but the newer GPUs, you can get away with just keeping it on, but Warzone 2 is Warzone 2, and it has a whole slew of issues. So personally, I prefer to just keep it on as on plus boost. But you can kind of play with that setting for yourself and see if it does anything one way or the other, better or worse. But this is just my recommendation because Warzone 2 is kind of a mess right now. And then for these last four settings, depth of field, motion blur, weapon motion blur, film grain, you want all of that stuff off and on 0. You don't want any of the motion blur stuff. It makes it harder to see when you're moving, when you're swapping weapons, ADSing, things like that. You don't need it. The depth of field, you don't need that either. Just turn it all off. Trust me, it will help. Now for view, I highly recommend FOV 120. If you're coming from console, you didn't used to have this, but I know some people play a little bit lower than that for whatever reason. Maybe they can't get used to playing on 120, or maybe they just prefer what it looked like on console. But I definitely recommend at least starting out on 100 and then working your way up to 120. But I mean, personally, you can dive straight into 120. It is not that big of a deal. I went from PS4 to PC a year ago, and at the time, I jumped straight from console POV all the way up to 120, and all it does is help you see better. Like straight up, nothing I did, not my play style, my game, who I could see, what I could see. The only thing that was affected was that I could see more. It took nothing to get used to, but I mean, to each his own, personal preference. I recommend 120. That way you can see everything. With that being said, I also recommend your ADS field of view be unaffected. That will make it so that whenever you ADS, it will also kind of blend to your FOV. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the words for it. If you have it on independent, then it will scale independent of the FOV. But if you have it on affected, it will scale with your FOV. Weapon field of view, set that to wide. That way you can see more around you. Third person, you don't really need that unless you play third person BR. If you do, set it to 90. And your vehicle field of view, I also recommend setting to wide. Again, that way you can see everything around you and it's not zoomed in like it is on default and narrow. Wide just gives you a better field of view. And if you're like me and you love to live in vehicles, that wide helps you because you can see around you a lot better. You have more of a range around you to see through. First person and third person camera movement set to 50%. Again, third person doesn't really matter unless you play third person BR, but you definitely want your camera movement down on 50%. That way you get you're able to see your movement a lot better because you don't have the camera moving all over the place. Let's see. That's going to be it for the graphics tab. And now we're going to jump into audio. Now there's been a lot of drama around footsteps in this game. Personally, I've tried PC, I have tried headphone bass boost, I have tried headphones. The only things I have not tried are soundbar and cinema. But home theater out of the 4 options that I have tried has been the best for me. This is gonna lower your highs and your things like your explosions, your gunshots, things that are a lot higher to you from far away when you have like bass boost on or headphones on. Those things can drown out your footstep audio even when they are 50 to 100 meters away. And if you're like me, you're not concerned about the guy that's way over there. You're concerned about the guy that's literally running up behind you. So you're going to want to maximize your lows, your mids, and just get the best footstep audio you possibly can. And with this game being as selective as it is when it comes to footstep audio, you want to just go ahead and run home theater and mitigate how the game drowns it out, for when you do get the footstep audio. Master volume, I keep mine between 95 and 100. Music volume, I don't need any of that, so I cut it to 0. You want dialogue volume on 50, at least, in my opinion. Dialogue volume, I guess you could drop it down to 40. But this is gonna be your narrator, your in-game narrator. So like, precision airstrike, UAV above, things like that. You want that audible. That way you can hear when it's happening. And then you'll also notice that the call outs that the characters make in game that aren't, your actual, the actual people you're playing with, but the character itself, like enemy over there, or reloading, or, whatever they say in the game, that is also part of dialogue volume. If you have that all the way down to 0, then you're going to miss out whenever, one of your guys spots somebody that you don't and says, hey, enemy over there, and you guys didn't see him, but the player character announces it. You definitely want to hear that. You know what I mean? Effects volume, I keep that on 100 because that's your in-game effects, like your footstep audio. You don't want to lower that volume because you want to maximize the opportunity to even hear footsteps. I keep hit marker volume on 40. I like to be able to hear my hit markers, but not so loud that I can't hear anything else. Voice chat volume, I keep on 30. It doesn't really seem to do me a whole lot of good. Whether I have it on 100 or, 10, like literally I tried playing with this the other day, and I don't know if they just have voice chat volume like messed up right now, but this is the volume. This is the volume for your teammates. I started at 100 the other day, and I dropped it all the way down to 10, and I did not notice a difference in their volume until I got to 10. So I ended up bumping it back up to 40 because when I did drop it down, it was a very sudden decrease, and I went from being able to hear my teammates to not being able to hear them over gunfights. So I prefer to be able to hear my teammates. I just keep it on 40, but you can play with that as you will. Let's see. This is going to be your system device. Generally, some people keep it on default, but if you're like me, you like to make sure that the correct source is selected just in case Windows messes around and changes your defaults. Let's see. I keep subtitles on. That's just my personal preference. Let's see. You want all of these on, obviously. I keep my microphone level on 70 because I have a very nice microphone. And if I don't lower my volume in game, then I deafen everyone around me. For hit marker sound effects, you can pick whatever. Personally, I prefer the classic sound effects, so that's what I use. And you definitely want to make sure you have reduced tinnitus sound on. Now, jumping over to interface, let's see. We jump into color customization. Make sure you have filter 2 on. Turn on filter 2. Color filter target, you want set to both. And then 100 and 100 for intensity. You and your teammates, they don't really matter, but you want your neutrals and your contested. Well, I guess contested doesn't really matter for Warzone, but you do want your neutral to be orange. You want it to be this dark, dark orange. And let's see. But select an orange, get it in here. You can find a dark orange, on the internet. Google just, orange hex colors, whatever you want. Or you can sit here and find it on the slider. But I highly recommend setting to orange because it will help you see enemy things on the map. It will help you see pings, etc., so on and so forth. Max out the brightness and the saturation, and you'll be set. For actual enemy, you want to do a bright, bright, bright pink. Very dark. This is the easiest way to see pings when your teammates ping the enemy. Pings are so hard to find on this map. They get lost in everything. You absolutely, absolutely, absolutely want this dark pink. I promise you, you will not regret it. It can be anywhere in this little pink area here. Just turn the brightness and saturation all the way up and hit apply custom color. The rest don't really matter. This color palette's kind of for my Modern Warfare 2. The only things that I really apply to Warzone are the neutral and the enemy. Everything else is just Modern Warfare 2. So focus solely on these two. I don't know why I was thinking contested. Don't worry about that. That's Modern Warfare 2 only. So just focus on these two. Getting out of color customization. Let's see. You don't have to run telemetry. Personally, I like to see my FPS, my server latency, my graphics card temperature, and I like the clock being there. That way I can see how late it is and when I need to go to bed. Otherwise, I'll play for like, a million hours and then go to bed too late and get no sleep for tomorrow. But that is all on the game, or actually, no, that is all on the interface panel. Now for the game, if you are on PC, you can search this setting, especially if you're keyboard and mouse. But I will show you how to navigate to it for controller. But let's see. Sorry, I can't type. So invert, slide, and dive behavior. Invert, slide, and dive behavior. Sorry, I cannot talk sometimes. So if you're on keyboard and mouse, you want to come to share, slide, and dive inputs and mark them shared instead of independent. That will bind them both to the same key, which for me is C or left control. And then you go to this setting right here, invert, slide, and dive behavior, and you want to turn that on to inverted. I promise you, you will not regret it. All of the pros are running this. Everyone who knows anything has been running this for at least 2 weeks, maybe longer. But what this does is it will make it so that you, instead of having to hold the dive, you just tap it. So when you're sprinting, you tap and then you slide. No, now you tap and you dive and you have to hold the slide. Well, which comes in so handy when you're trying to outmaneuver the enemy or just get to cover or move very quickly out of an enemy's line of fire and reposition. As you all know, sliding in this game is probably the most useless movement mechanic. It slows you down and honestly gets you killed more times than I would care to admit. So you definitely want to use the shit out of your dolphin dive And I highly recommend slapping inverted on there. That way it's 10 times easier to dolphin dive. On those same lines, I highly recommend turning on automatic tactical sprint, as that will help you out on that as well, because you don't have to worry about hitting your tac sprint. And for every, I want to say 2 dolphin dives, it resets your tac sprint. So if you're like me, I dolphin dive all over the place because it keeps the same speed going, and I don't have to worry about stopping running in order to reset my tac sprint. I can keep moving at the same run speed and get my tac sprint back right away. Let's see. Keep this on partial. And then armor plate behavior, apply all. Let's see. Interact behavior. For if your keyboard and mouse, just hit press for that. Obviously, hold for your equipment behavior. Let's see. I don't think there's anything in here for you guys. I recommend keeping sprint pause reload on. Because if you turn it off, it causes all kinds of chaos. Trust me, I tried playing with it off, and what it would do is instead of what sprint pause reload does is when you go to, if you have it on, you can essentially stop reloading to start sprinting to get away, and then your guy will resume reloading once you stop sprinting. Well, if you turn it off, then that kills your ability to sprint while you're reloading. You will start reloading and you will not be able to run until you change weapons or finish reloading. And if you're in the middle of, chaos on the battlefield and you're trying to get away from an enemy, the last thing you want is to be caught sticking a mag in your gun and without the ability to sprint. So I recommend keeping it on, just because if you start reloading and someone runs up on you, you are not going to be able to run away until you have swapped weapons at that point, because you can't sprint and cancel your reload if that's off. So obviously by cancel your reload, I mean stop reloading to resume reloading once you're done sprinting. So definitely keep that on. I highly recommend it. I've seen people recommend turning it off, but if you get, bamboozled and attacked while you're reloading, you're done. You can't run away. So I highly recommend keeping that on. Let's see. Danger ping wheel. Movement advanced. Change your walk speed to fast under advanced movement. Highly recommend that. Keep your parachute auto deploy off. That way you don't have to worry about your chute deploying too early. You can cut it, or you can activate it as close to the ground as humanly possible. Grounded mantle and automatic ground mantle, keep those off. You don't want those on, trust me. Let's see, and that should do it for that. Now on controller, those same settings. Let's see. Your stick sense, that's going to be all you and personal preference. Automatic tac sprint, you want that on. You want prioritize interact on. That way you are grabbing things and you don't start reloading when you're trying to pick stuff up. That just makes it so that you can spam circle or square or, X or whatever button it is on your controller that lets you pick stuff up. Sorry, I'm not a controller player, so I don't know right off top of my head what it is. But prioritize interact is going to let you just snatch things off the shelves quickly. And then you're going to hold the reload whenever you're in that situation. You want your armor plate, apply all, obviously on. Let's see here. And then go to the advanced tab. Aim assist, I recommend putting that on Black Ops. Black Ops is kind of OP right now. It was in the beginning. It still is. I think it's been nerfed a little bit, but it's still much better than focusing or precision. Let's see. Gyro behavior off. Gravity vector. Let me see here. When I have played controller, I use dynamic. I get good results from that. Your ADS sense multiplier, I recommend lowering this. Play with it yourself, but I recommend lowering it between 0.85 and 0.9. And then your custom zoom sensitivity, I also recommend playing with these. What this does is it changes your speed. Basically, you multiply this number by your actual sensitivity on your stick, and it lowers it by whatever the result is while you're zoomed in at these zooms for the different optics. So you get a more precise aim while you're ADSing versus when you're not ADSing, if that makes sense. So it only slows you. It only slows your ADS down while you're, or it only slows your look sensitivity down while you are ADSing. Let's see. Again, partial. You don't want auto move forward on. Single tap sprint. Off. Partial. Off. Invert. Right here is the invert slide and dive behavior that we talked about before. Again, it makes it so that you hold the slide, tap to dive. Plunging underwater, you want movement based. Let's see. Parachute auto deploy off. I believe that is everything. I recommend quick C4 detonation being on too. That lets you detonate quicker. If that makes sense. So you can detonate any C4 before blowing up, you know, or before throwing another one. You don't have to throw all your C4 in order to detonate one. All right. So with that being said, let's get over here into the actual yeah, here we go. Let's get over here into the actual docs file here, the config. So you're going to navigate to your documents, then you go to Call of Duty, hit players, and then you're going to go down here to this options 3 cod22.cst. When you open it, double click it, it should open in Notepad. Let's see here. Mine is up on this monitor. All right, so you're going to open this up and you will see a whole cluster of just nonsense. The first thing you want to do is go down here to this enables async compute for specific cases. It should be on true by default. You want to turn that to false. There is no setting in the game for that. It's solely in the config file, and you want to set that to false. Let's see. Then we're going to Control F here, and we're going to look for clutter. Here we have the clutter max distance that we saw in the game, you know, where I didn't have a setting there. That's because I have it modified in here for 10,000. Trust me, you don't want it lower. That makes it so that when you're it affects the rendering of the models at a distance, and you don't want it low because you won't see shit. There will be artifacting all over the place, and it makes it very difficult to see. I've tried it at the settings, the in-game settings. I've tried it as low as 100, and I've tried it all the way at 10,000. I believe modifying it in the game to the max sets it to like 5,000, I think. I can't remember right offhand, but the only way to get to 100 or to 10,000 is to modify it directly in the config file, and I highly advise that you do that. Let's see. There is also down here in the deferred physics, you have different options than in game. You can set medium quality, high quality, etc. Personally, I keep it on medium quality. Now the terrain memory, I actually have set to large. Where was that? Here it is, memory mode to use. I actually have it set to large. That just changes how it renders in the individual areas of the map as you come onto them. Phrasing. But anyways, so we're gonna ignore that. And then we're gonna go down here to your renderer worker count. Now, I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on this. I know on the previous game, we set it to exactly what our cores were. If you had Intel, you were supposed to set it to half of what your cores were on your PC. Now, you can find out how many cores your CPU has by going into your task manager here. And then you hit performance, and it will show you right here, you know, I have 16 cores. Now, from what I've been told on my processor, I only need to use the first 6. So I set mine to 6. I haven't noticed a difference yet. I may bump it back. Well, no, I had it on 16, and then they had me drop it down to, someone had me drop it down to 6, and I haven't noticed a difference. So personally, I think this is more of a personal preference thing. And I don't think any of us have really found the sweet spot yet, especially since, you know, Warzone is not exactly optimized right now. So experiment with this and let me know in the comments how it does for you. Whether, you know, it's every single core that you've got on your CPU in use, or you're doing half your cores, or even if you're doing 6, you know, just let me know in the comments how that works for you. Because I am very curious on that one. And then here you can actually alter your video memory scale. The one that we saw in the game where I recommended you max it to 0.9. You can actually raise it higher than that. the game gives you, you know, the option of 0.9, but you can go all the way up to 2.0. So if you're still having crash issues, you can try raising it up and see if that helps fix your crashes. I know in Warzone 1, some people went all the way up to 1.25. So you can try that. The sweet spot for me back then was 0.65, but I have a 3080, so I have a lot of, you know, video RAM to work with on that. Now we're going to go into some audio settings, additional outside of Warzone audio settings. So what you're going to do is I've already got it installed. But you want to go in here and you want to search for this app right here, Dolby Access. Like I said, I already have it installed. So you're going to open this. Click open. And so Dolby Access has a free trial. I think it's 2 weeks. It might be a week. I can't remember. But I highly recommend buying it. It has made a huge difference for me. It's $15 one-time payment. You never have to pay it again. But essentially what's going to happen is you're going to open it up. You go to these settings and you want it on game and you want it on performance mode. That's all you got to do. You click performance mode. You're good to go. Now you can ensure it's on, through a variety of different means. So for Windows 10, I believe you can just right click on your volume, down here, and it'll say something like, let's see, let me see what it says for me, because it says basically the same thing. Here, I'll go ahead and show you Windows 11 first. So you go to your settings, you click sound, and then you can either go in here, or you can go into your all devices. But what you want to do is you want to go to system, because that's my default audio. And down here where it says spatial audio, you want Dolby Atmos for headphones turned on, device default effects on. But you can sit here and you can right click this on Windows 10 and it should say spatial audio or something along those lines, or device effects, or enhancements, something like that. And you just hover over it and it will have, you know, it'll have whether it's turned off or it'll have Dolby Atmos and you can select it. That is on Windows 10. I am on Windows 11. So this is what I have to do. You can also go into more sound settings. It'll open up all your devices over here. And I can double click on this to open properties, and I can control my levels. I keep loudness equalization on, because this is a setting you can change in Windows 10 as well for you. But I recommend going in because you can turn loudness equalization on, and that will help to cut out certain frequencies to reduce your audio distortion, as well as make all of your sounds louder. I can't tell you how much louder it has made all of my game audio. I can put my headphones on my monitor over here and walk into my kitchen and I can still hear my game. So it's pretty crazy. I am going to be getting some in-ear monitors soon to try that out to see if that makes a difference with footstep audio. I have seen a lot of praise for those lately. So once I've tried those out, I may post a video talking about that. But I definitely recommend, you turn on this loudness equalization. And then you can go in here to advance, spatial sound, sorry. And then you can select, Windows Sonic, I don't recommend, but Dolby Atmos, and, click apply and okay. And that will be it for your audio settings. So let's see. Now that we have taken care of all that. Oh, and when you're in that config file, before you exit it, obviously don't forget to hit save. And if for some reason, you mess something up and your game won't load, or whatever, or you want to go back to the default settings, you can literally just go into your documents, and you can literally just delete this file. And the next time you open the game, it will repopulate a new one with default settings. And then you can go back in and change whatever you want. Let's see. So that is that, guys. That is everything for that video. That is all I wanted to talk about. Now, I will be doing a best OBS settings video soon. I stream on YouTube, but I will be talking about Twitch settings, OBS settings for YouTube in SDR, OBS settings for YouTube in HDR, and OBS settings for recording, regardless of what platform you upload to. So, I hope you guys have a great night, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.